Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is May 14th, 2024, and Lamine Yamal has set one more record. Also, Deco has made it clear to the club that if Barcelona want to sign players, they will have to sell players, and they have set a deadline on when they're going to make a decision on which players will be sold. And finally, Xavi Hernandez does not count on Joao Felix. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now I'll begin with the good news because Girona has once again dropped points. This time losing to Villarreal 1-0. So this time they have dropped a total of 3 points. Now we know that Girona had recently dropped 2 points when they drew against Alaves 2-2. This of course allowed Barcelona to retake second place after Barcelona won their respective match against Real Sociedad. And well, now Girona have dropped 3 entire points by losing to Villarreal. So Barcelona will have the chance to extend their lead over Girona this Thursday as they are set to face off against Almeria. So if Barcelona win their match against Almeria, they're going to be 4 points ahead of Girona, which most likely going to secure the second place for Barcelona, which, as I've said many times before, Barcelona need to finish second in order to qualify to the Spanish Super Cup, where they're going to earn 6 million euros just for participating. That's not even counting the bonuses they would make for qualifying to the final, and even another bonus for winning it. And of course, Barcelona are also set to receive an extra 7.5 million euros from TV rights, from La Liga TV rights, if they finish second over third. So that's close to 14 million euros that are on the line, and why Barcelona need to finish second. Now more news because Lamine Yamal, yes, Lamine Yamal has set a new record, and this record came during the match against Real Sociedad, where Lamine scored Barcelona's first goal during the first half. And upon scoring his goal, Lamine Yamal has now become the only player in the history of La Liga to score 5 goals before turning 17. So another big record for Lamine Yamal, who had already set other records. For example, he became the youngest player to score in the history of La Liga. He was also the youngest player to score in the history of the Spanish national team. He had the opportunity of becoming the youngest player to score in the Champions League this season. It didn't happen. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, he can still achieve that record if he scores during next season Champions League. I'm not 100% sure, but just know that Lamine Yamal has added yet one more record to what I'm sure is going to be a very long career, full of records. Now, more good news because, ladies and gentlemen, Alejandro Balde has officially returned to the training field. Of course, Balde has been out for quite some time with that season-ending injury where he had to get a surgery. Today, he was seen for the first time training on the field. Of course, he was training by himself, doing special kind of workouts by himself because he's still recovering. But of course, this is great news because this is one of the final steps in recovery. Usually, one of the final steps is when the player starts training on the field by themselves, and then eventually they join their teammates, and that's when they are back and ready. So Alejandro Balde very close to the finish line, and it's expected that he's going to be ready for the Euros, which of course will mean that he will be ready for the Barcelona pre-season. Now more news because Deco has informed Barcelona that the club will need to sell players in order to sign new ones. Now we know once Barcelona finalize the Nike deal, which is expected to happen during this month, the club will receive a 100 million euro signing bonus, which will put Barcelona on that 1-to-1 rule. However, despite that, Barcelona are still going to have to sell players because you need money to sign new ones, because all the 1-to-1 rule means that for every euro that you make off the sale of the player, you can use that euro to sign someone new, but you still need to sell players because you still need money. So Deco has told Barcelona that if Barcelona do want to sign a left winger, the club will have to sell an attacker. If Barcelona want to sign a pivot, they're going to have to sell a midfielder. And if Barcelona want to sign an attacking midfielder, Barcelona will, of course, have to sell a midfielder. And as far as signings, we all know who the signings that Barcelona want to make. For the left wing, Barcelona want to sign Nico Williams. For the pivot, it's going to be Subimendi or Kimmich. And for the attacking midfielder, and this is where it's a little bit surprising, but it seems that Xavi Simons has overtaken Bernardo Silva, and he has now become the priority. But again, in order to sign any of these players, Barcelona will have to offload players. And it's reported that Barcelona have set a deadline of the Euros. So right before the Euros begin, Barcelona will know which players they're going to offload. Rafinha, Frankie, some have said Araujo. So by then, Barcelona will know, because again, in order to sign, Barcelona will have to offload. Now, speaking of Deco, it's reported that the sporting director has expressed his anger and he's disappointed that there's been a lot of leaks this season, that, you know, he's constantly coming up, you know, with decisions between him, Xavi, Laporta, about who the club is going to sign, who the club are going to offload, etc., only to find out that the media knows all about it the next day or maybe hours later. It seems like Deco has expressed his anger about this to the media because he doesn't like that there's so many leaks. He doesn't understand where these leaks are coming from. But honestly, I just think that Deco is, you know, still getting used to his position. Not too long ago, he was a football player who didn't have to worry about leaks. Then he was an agent, again, didn't have to worry about leaks. So it's the first time he's working at the club, and I think he's finding out what it's like to work for a club as big as Barcelona, where every move you make, no matter how cautious you are, somehow, some way, it is leaked to the media. Because if there's one thing that we've noticed is back when Alemany and Jordi Cruyff were at the club, they never complained about leaks, or they hardly did, because after all, they had been working at clubs, many clubs for many years. So I think they already knew how it works, but it looks like Deco is still getting used to it. But anyways, the last bit of news is that Xavi Hernandez has informed Barcelona that he doesn't count yet on another player, and this player is Joao Felix, who, as I've said in many previous videos, has been absolutely disappointing this season. I was actually one of the people who were very, very excited that Barcelona had signed Joao Felix on loan. Unfortunately, he has disappointed us all, or at least most of us, after a very underwhelming season. Very inconsistent performances where the player seems to pick and choose which matches he wants to show up in, and other matches he just simply does not. And of course, this is not just coming from me. This is coming from Xavi Hernandez himself, who has informed Barcelona that he does not count on Joao Felix. He doesn't want Joao Felix on his team next season. So it looks like most likely Joao will be going back to Atletico Madrid. And the only reason why he would stay is if Joan Laporta decides to keep him. Because let's remember, Joao Felix was not Xavi Hernandez's request. This was Joan Laporta signing, who's been wanting to sign the player for a long time. He thought that by bringing Joao Felix, he would, get his big star signing that would fill up the stadium. That, of course, has shown to be false, because after all, people do not go to the stadium just to see Joao Felix. They want to see the entire team perform well, the entire team do well, and not just go see one guy, and especially someone who has disappointed like Joao Felix. So just know that Xavi does not count on a Portuguese player. Anyways, that is all the news for tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. And as always, peace, Barça.